Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 278 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
And my name is Barbara, for the 278th time that I've said that. Just saying. Everybody knows who the hell I am, but...
There's been a few times where you didn't say who you were, and I was confused, honestly, for a while.
I'm sure you were. It probably doesn't take a lot to confuse you.
Not much. So, the last couple weeks, you have not been in Florida. Have we finally caught you in Florida?
Yes, I'm in Florida. July's been tough, man. We're going to Ladies of the Mill this weekend. We're, of course, recording this on a Wednesday, but yeah, it's every week of July. So, looking forward to August, settling down a little bit and being home the whole month.
Until the race, of course.
Until the race. That's right. You know it.
So you've been keeping up on your training?
Yeah, not only have I been keeping up with my training, but I have been researching how to get faster at swimming. And so I bought myself a kickboard, and then I bought myself something that you put in between your legs so you don't kick and you just swim with your arms to strengthen up your arms. And so, yeah.
Can you use a kickboard during the race?
No, you use it to train so you get faster.
Oh, nice.
And better and stronger. You know how I'm in it to win it.
I know you are.
Being slow at swimming. So, yes, I'm training.
I've been practicing to hold my breath.
I know. I was going to say, there you go, Sean Nowak. See, I told you I was in it this year. All right. How are you?
I'm good. Very busy right now. Doing a lot of out and about chairside help. I'm kind of curious if your lab's also busy, because this tends to be a slower time of the year.
Personally, I'm busy. Like the all ceramic end of it, the higher end of our laboratory right now is super busy. Not out of control busy, but busy.
Yeah.
But the other areas are kind of flat. But, you know.
It's that going back to school, everyone's...
It's July.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree.
I guess people just need a lot of help chairside. I guess that's my...
Well, just be thankful, you know.
True to that.
Be thankful.
So this week, we are once again bringing more conversations from LMT Lab Day West.
God, that was a long time ago. That's crazy.
It seems like it was months.
Yes.
And it was.
I know.
2 months. I tell you, once we moved the table in front of the main entrance that went into the main exhibit hall.
Yep.
Barb, you and we started cranking out the recordings.
I know we did. We did. True to that.
Thanks to Ivaclar, who took us out there, we were able to meet 2 lab owners on this episode. While with different stories, each found their own success. So first up is Chad Brox. Chad is a 3rd-generation lab owner in Las Vegas.
Super cool dude, too.
Yeah, so of course we had to ask him what it's like to own a lab that's so close to the Strip.
Strippers.
Yeah, I think you jump in on that real quick, honestly.
I'm so surprised, yeah.
Chad also talks about growing up in the lab, getting started with models at a super young age, discovering the digital workflow, taking over for his dad, and what he's doing at Lab Day West, which is looking for lab management software. And then we talked to Eddie Corrales. Eddie has one of the most unique workflows I think I've ever seen.
True.
It's really interesting. So back in the day when CEREC started, and all of us, including myself, were complaining about the loss of work we would get, Eddie saw an opportunity and built a business around creating full smiles chairside. And this is my favorite part, using all of the doctor's equipment.
I know, right?
Eddie talks about the early days when he had to learn the correct way for this workflow, how he created the first CEREC Connect. Technically, that's not what it was called, but he did it first, flying around the world to do these cases.
Yeah.
And how he is able to help doctors get more treatment acceptance with just a little photography and clever psychology. So join us as we chat with Chad Brox and Eddie Corrales.
If you are looking for a ceramic or sintering furnace and want an incredible deal, you guys, look no further.
Ivoclar has their 3 ways to save promotion going on now. Connect with an Ivoclar sales representative today to learn about how you can save on a new furnace, or you can email customer service at cs.us@ivoclar.com.
And please tell them you heard it on the podcast to get free ground shipping by using the promo code 724.
One of the hardest parts about getting new equipment is having to pay for shipping.
No doubt.
This is a huge deal. Those centering ovens, furnaces, those things are huge and heavy.
I'll tell you what, that is so true because I ship pretty much every one of my cases out of state and it's a very expensive endeavor. So to get free ground shipping, guys, come on, let's go. 724.
724.
724.
Voices from the bench. The interview.
All right, smile. She's the camera girl.
Uh-oh.
Elvis.
Why are we getting low?
Thanks to our good friends of Ivoclar, we are
Yes.
here at Lab Day West 2023.
And we are rolling, just
Chad
saying.
Brox?
Oh, yeah, the one and only.
The one and only.
Oh. We have to thank Rozzy for this.
Yeah.
She just rolled in, brought
Yeah.
you over. And
The queen.
yes.
Rozzy did the famous, hey, Rozzy, want to come on? Here's somebody, and it's the pass-along.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to talk to you.
Yeah, Chad.
Thank you.
Yes.
How are you? What do you-
I'm good. I've seen you guys. I follow you guys on Facebook.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The meme, the crazy meme.
I mean, I'm just one out of 1,000 million people you guys talk to, so hopefully it doesn't go too crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. So where are you from? So you're from here and Performance Dental Lab. Is that your
Las
lab?
Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada. Yep.
Okay.
What's it like having a lab in Vegas? I mean, are you, like, close to the Strip? Because
We actually are.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
How does that even work? I mean,
How do you
Oh,
get
man, it's
anything
work.
done?
It is. It's just a job to get to the lab sometimes.
Yeah, I
you know.
bet.
I don't live near the Strip. I don't go down there. It's not.
I think
appealing.
most people that live around there really, unless you work there, don't really go.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We avoid it.
Yeah, I bet.
Traffic.
Yeah. So are there dentists on the Strip you do work for?
Not on the Strip.
Okay.
But we actually service the whole valley, so we cover a pretty wide, broad range.
Yeah.
So
So you probably do strippers, entertainers.
we do.
Full mouth cases, veneers,
And
all day long.
And I got
I've
to
got
shout
the
out
Blue
to the
Man Group.
doctors. I got to shout out to the doctors when they send them to the lab for a custom shave.
Oh, yeah, thank
we
you.
enjoy that.
I bet.
I have 6 crowns for someone named Candy.
So tell us, how did you get into the industry?
Yeah.
So I started actually really young. My father, he wanted to instill an appreciation for work and the value of money when we were young. So my mother and father they decided that if we wanted school clothes, that coming up from the summer vacation, that we would have to start earning our money for school clothes. So we would, me and my brother would go in, and
So your dad was a lab owner.
my dad was a lab owner.
Okay,
So he
yeah.
founded
And
the company.
I'm
Okay.
third generation. I have
Third?
my father, and then my father, and then me.
Wow.
Wow, I love it. You know I love it. All right,
And so we go in and we dust the place. I mean, labs are dusty.
I know
Man, those
it.
things are just they're just dust machines. So we would clean, and I just never knew how the lab got so dirty so fast all the time. And so when I eventually I wanted to start wearing cooler clothes.
Yeah, sure.
So you
And,
wanted to work your ass off, pretty much. I'm in.
They took advantage of me. So I started actually getting into model work when I first came in. My dad had a few employees. They would sit with me and show me how to pour a model.
What age are you at this point? Are you like?
I'm like 12.
Oh wow, yeah, that's young.
I was probably 5th grade. I don't
yeah.
remember.
Okay.
So 11, 12 club.
Yeah.
Anyway, then I actually started to do the models. Like it became a summer thing for me, and
you liked it, right?
And I
like
liked
you were
it.
jamming with it.
I was
Did
jamming.
you realize
I-
why it was so dirty? Because you're grinding on models.
Well, not until I discovered sandblasters and everything else. So. But yes, I can see how things get really dirty.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of grew a passion. It like any job, you kind of just work and do what you got to do, and then you start to really kind of enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to discover, hey, I actually like this.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, that's what happened. So,
Well,
and then
what was the point that you said, man, this is because was it model work? Was it you got into?
no,
or?
well, so I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I think you kind of have
Must
to
be a Virgo.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be a little bit of a perfectionist to actually
Big time.
be
Yeah.
in this profession.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make my models better.
Yeah.
And just get better at whatever so I actually start going around looking at models, like other labs' models and what they did and what pins they used, and just I wanted to make everything smooth and clean. And then eventually I went from that to wax and metal finishing.
Okay.
And
Yep.
I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
I did
So
that.
hold on. So you were 12, and so every single summer,
I did
pretty
that.
much you
so
stayed in the lab.
So in the 5th grade, when
You dropped out of school and worked
from
in the lab part.
you're not far from.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't drop out. No. The 5th grade would be an early dropout for sure. But from the 6th grade, it was my full-time job. I would go there after school.
Oh, yeah.
I would work. And, models I can do, at the time we were doing probably 15 to 20 models a day.
Yeah.
And that was me. So then I would, that was my job. So it was my job up until I got to like the 9th or 10th grade.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into wax and metal finishing, and I did that for probably 7-8 years. And then that's when digital started coming into the scene.
Yep.
And we were working with Nobels. They had this 2D Piccolo scanner.
Yeah,
just
the,
like
yeah.
read
I
your
remember
dye.
that.
The little red dot that went around.
Yes, and it was completely different than it is today.
Sure.
I never had to really work with that scanner, and I just did pretty much all the other stuff. And then 3Shape came out.
Yeah.
And I heard from a Nobel rep. I'm not going to give a name, but he said if you're looking into going digital, you want to check out 3Shape.
3Shape, yeah.
When I looked at it, it was a completely different thing than what I'm used to, and like just 3D molding, and I was like, man, we're actually making crowns, and it was just weird because I have everything in my hands all the time. I'm sculpting, you got to have that artistic ability, and it kind of took that away from me, but put it on a digital screen or a computer screen, and I'm working with a mouse and clicking and stuff. I mean, you kind of have to know contour.
Did you adapt well to the computer?
I did.
Yeah.
I did only because I knew contour.
Yes.
I knew the forms. I knew the shapes. I knew what I was looking at. But then again, it took me from this analog to digital, and now I'm kind of like a technician and kind of a computer guy. You have to learn computers at certain points. I couldn't even get into my Wi-Fi before I got into this. So it's been a learning curve, and the industry is changing so much. Like it's just the materials. Like we're looking at printable ceramics now.
Yeah,
I know. I saw
that's
that.
the new thing.
Yep.
So that's a game changer. These things are it's just exciting to see how technology is going from one transition to the next.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to keep up these days.
Yeah. Your dad's still in the lab?
I was just going to ask that. Is your dad still in
He
the
is.
lab?
Yeah.
Is he a dye trimmer or what's he doing? That was what my dad did.
Gosh,
just saying.
my dad, he's just like to be honest, I look at him, I just think he's just amazing. The guy's a work machine.
Yeah.
He could retire. He could be retired if he wants to, but he just
Loves
chooses
it.
to work.
Yeah.
And he does everything. Mainly more of the complex stuff. Like he's implant planning.
Nice.
He does all the more complex cases.
Sure.
So, and honestly, I look at him and he fills in wherever he needs. If somebody's slacking somewhere, he's just going to pick. And he doesn't complain at all. He just picks up and takes off with it.
Yep.
Just does it.
Yep.
It's awesome. So how big's your lab now? How many employees do you have?
We have about 11 employees.
Oh, that's a good size
yeah.
lab.
I mean, it's small. I mean, when I'm talking to people here, I mean, geez, these guys got.
Well,
Oh, it's
These guys
ridiculous,
got
some of them, but
you don't want that many.
manufacturers.
You don't want that many.
I kind of I do and I don't. You know,
Oh,
I
I
do and I
see.
don't. But
yeah.
you know, it seems to be in the world, like this world specifically, doctors, they go from one lab to the next lab. It seems to be a rotating door.
Yeah.
And if you're not constantly working on marketing, you know, you can put out a great product, and everybody's looking for something that's cheaper. Not everybody. I'm just saying the majority of business out there. So you kind of have to have a good marketing.
You have to constantly
team.
be adding accounts because no matter what you do, you're going to lose some constantly. And it's not to your fault. It's just
It just happens.
It just happens.
It just happens. Yeah. And you know what? We don't like, you know, if a doctor leaves, we leave that door open. We're never closing doors. Like our relationships with our doctors, we want what they want, and that's to make their patients happy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's why we have a passion for what we do.
And you got to leave that door open because if you're doing a good job, good chance they'll come back eventually.
oh yes,
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried
Yes.
6 other labs and now I'm back.
Yeah, and I realized it was me.
Is there
So
anything
true.
specifically you're looking at here? Are you just taking classes?
So,
or?
so my dad's getting actually ready to take just to kind of come out of the business. He doesn't really want to be running things like he has been.
Sure.
And so I'm here looking specifically more for the lab management systems.
Yeah.
Oh, the software. Yeah. You guys
Yeah.
using anything now or?
Well, we were working with FileMaker Pro, which
I have
is
no idea what
it's
that
an
is.
old system.
I've never
Yeah.
heard of that. Yeah.
It's completely open. Like we can modify it.
Is it even
it's
meant for
awesome.
dental?
It's only meant for dental if you know how to program. And I'm not a
Okay.
computer programmer.
God, no.
I just don't know. I don't even want to go into that.
Yeah,
so I'd rather
yeah.
just look at what somebody else developed and implement.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, there's a lot of good
That's not like-
systems out there, and everyone's got an opinion.
That's true.
You know, I've run into people that use the software we use, and they're like, I hate it. And you're like, why? And then they have their reasons, and then I just like,
Well, and actually, as I was looking at these systems, each lab is different. You know,
Yep.
their dynamics are different, their needs are different, and some systems work better for others.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
It's almost like you need to try them all, even though that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's-
got to find the one for what you need. What is your goal? Do you need more data? Do you need more
Reports,
trackety,
yeah.
reporting?
Yep.
You know, there's so many options out there.
There are.
Yeah.
There
So
are.
you guys in Vegas, do you do analog impressions as well as digital? Do you have some docs that are
We-
still taking
yeah, we do both.
impressions? Yeah, so
Mhm.
do we.
Yep.
So
As a
you're
matter of fact, I mean, the impressions are still pretty much a big part
Even
of
in
what
Vegas?
we're doing.
I
Yeah.
thought it was all like Las Vegas Institute and big cosmetic cases out here.
No, if you go to Las Vegas Institute, you're getting digital stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But there's still a lot of old school doctors
Yeah.
that are just do things traditionally. You know,
Yeah.
the younger generation is coming in, and the people that have adopted it, the intraoral scanning, we're starting to see more and more of it. So less time people running out to offices.
Yep.
It just comes right in, and that's also cool about these lab management systems. Is
Yeah.
I'm looking for implementation. I need when I get a scan from whatever scanner to come right into my system and upload automatic. I mean,
Yeah. Good luck.
to a certain point, right? I know.
Yeah.
That is like this
A
industry's
challenge.
dream.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast,
That's what we need.
that's what we need.
I tell you, we have so many employees that their job is just to find all these things
Oh, my
and
God.
pull them in and
Same
get them
here.
into 3 shape and set them up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there needs to be a better
It's not
way.
just a couple scanners. Now it's like 10.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
coming from all areas, and it's a pain in the ass.
And everybody wants to keep their systems closed
Yeah.
for various reasons. It would be nice just to be able to open all these platforms.
Yeah.
And work together.
We need one portal
Yes.
that everything goes through.
Yes.
But it's not going to. It's like asking for one implant screw. It's just not going to happen.
That's for sure.
Well, Chad, thanks so
you.
much,
Hey.
man.
Elvis, you are like the Elvis
Oh, God. Here we go.
dental over here. This guy, he can just do a little jig and all the ladies come flocking over.
please.
Isn't that crazy? I
He
know.
could, right?
Please.
I might be a little
you're
jealous.
spicy.
Yeah, she's
I've heard you before. Yes, I'm like
I
this.
might
My
cuss a little bit.
that's my kind of girl right there.
Yeah.
We're
High
going.
five.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Well,
Enjoy
thank
the
you,
rest of your
Chad,
trip.
thank you so much.
Thank you
man.
so much.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate your
Yeah.
guys' time.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Working.
I got lines. We're good to go.
Okay.
All
Jesus,
right,
thank
all
you.
right.
Starting over.
Take two.
Okay. Here we go.
So here we are outside of the Grand Exhibit Hall at LMT Lab Day West. Thanks to our
Yes.
good friends at Ivoclar that are having us here.
And who brought you over?
It was a good friend of mine. I don't know if you guys know this guy, big dude, Jeremy.
You said he was like a refrigerator.
Yeah, so
He's going to love
my
hearing that.
refrigerator friend.
Jeremy Wohlers,
Yeah.
great guy.
Super
Great
cool guy. My groupie. He takes me everywhere, and
He
anywhere
goes
he is,
everywhere.
He always introduces me to people, and that's how he brought me to the
Aw,
booth.
Yeah.
that's
You got to
great.
meet these guys. So here I am.
So Eddie
Corrales.
Corrales. That's right.
Yes.
Corrales. I got it
Yes.
right
You got
this
it
time.
right.
In case anyone hasn't caught on, we had to start over.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of a bummer. We were rolling, and then all of a sudden, no lines.
That was
So here we
fun.
go again.
So yeah, that's it's nice to be here.
Well,
we're
hold on.
saying-
So you were saying this is your first meeting in 10 years.
Yes.
And my question was, how come 10 years? Like, what's up?
So 10 years ago, maybe more, maybe 15 years ago, I was lecturing at this meeting. That was when CAD/CAM first started in the laboratory. I was one of the first labs to integrate in lab. And it was those days that, people that are listening to this probably remember, they're as old as I am, is when CEREC was sold by Patterson to dentists. And we as technicians
I
hated
remember.
Patterson.
Oh, we were pissed.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they were taking our business away because we're doing, small units. We're all small labs. And here we go. Patterson is selling the machine to these dentists and then knocking on my door to sell me the same equipment for $100,000.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Well,
kill
we're
him.
taking our business
Yeah.
away.
You want
So-
an MCXL? Your dentist has one too.
Yeah.
yeah, right?
yeah,
Remember
yeah.
those days?
Yeah.
So I decided to join, instead of being mad at them, I decided to just join Patterson and Serona and teach dentists how to use their technology. So,
So you taught dentists how to make their own crowns.
Right. And this is, you're talking
That's bold back
2002.
then.
Yeah.
So you had to teach yourself before you could teach them.
Correct.
Okay.
So I will learn, and then I will teach them because they didn't even know how to turn the machine on. So I became really good friends with Patterson people so that I could go to the dental office and teach them how to use it. So at one point, after a year, like 2004, I thought that would be a good idea to grab a file, put it in a form where it wasn't even, I don't even know we had thumb drives in those days, and
Floppy
email.
disk.
It was email. To email it to me and see if I could open on my end and do a restoration for this doctor. And the guy was like, well, why do I need to do that when I can do it myself? I said, no, I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just trying to see if this works. If sending a file via
From
email,
your
if I can open
office
on,
to me.
imagine how old this is because we
Oh,
know it
yeah.
works.
Yeah.
But in those days, it was like, I don't know if it ought to be distorted by the time it got to my lab and do it. So anyways, I did my first
How long did
restoration.
it take you to download that file back
Oh,
then?
my God. It was like in a whole day thing.
Yeah.
Like, how do we do this anyways? So we did the restoration. I took it to the labs, to the dental office, and it fit. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So that's how my journey started with CAD/CAM, right? So after a couple years of me trying to do this, and we started a study group in Patterson and San Diego, which is the largest one in the United States right now.
Still?
The
Wow.
CEREC study group that Remo Sagastums from Patterson started it with me. Anyways, we got all these dentists, CEREC owners involved, and I would teach staining glaze and do all this stuff, right? So then I thought, how about if in my website, I make an icon that I can put on their computer, their CEREC computer, and have them drag and drop the file, and it will go straight to my website. And it will cost me at that time it was like $8,000 to make my website usable like that.
Yeah.
Now we're talking 2008. Since I was group friends with Serona, they called me up and they said, hey, we hear what you're doing. You need to stop. We have something for you. And I said, all right. So they said, well, we are coming up with this thing called CEREC Connect.
Yeah.
And we would like you to beta test it along with some other guys around
So
the
you
nation.
were before CEREC Connect.
Yeah. So
Sounds
I said,
like
okay,
you were CEREC
sounds
Connect,
great.
actually.
So I was coming up with a concept like that. So I said, yeah, of course.
Eddie Connect.
But I was really pissed. I was like, they just took my idea.
Yeah.
And then because they're bigger, but they already had it already coming, and I just, it was, just happened to happen. So, anyways, we started doing Serona Connect, or CEREC Connect,
Yeah.
and beta testing, and it worked out, and it worked out really nice. So we said 2008, right? So my lab has always been, until this point, a cosmetic lab. I was always a smile designer, per se.
Yeah.
In those days, smile designer was not a thing. Now it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
So 2008, the market crash, everything was, really bad.
yeah, I remember.
So I was not getting that much work in my laboratory, right? So I came up with this idea to go to one of my good clients, CEREC clients, and say, hey, Jimmy, how do you feel if we do a same-day smile with your CEREC machine? Because what? Yeah, a CEREC machine, I can do, like 18 units in your office to see how it works. The reason why I did that is because I was running out of my savings, and I could not pay for my employees anymore because I was not getting money.
So you
Now
had
you're
to
talking
be
2009, so
smarter.
I was like, I need to get some money. So he goes, well, let's try it on my aunt. So the aunt comes in.
It's always
and
a
we
family
do-
member.
Yeah,
Oh,
what
yeah.
could go
True.
wrong? The best guinea
True.
pig in the world. So we go ahead, and the guy from Patterson, Remo, comes and watches, and other people come to watch this event of doing a same-day smile. Well, it took me all flipping day. We used Real Life Block. You remember the Real Life Block by Vita? It was a big block that had, it was all enamel, and it had a dentin dome inside. And we decided to use it just because Vita was kind of like my sponsor in those days.
Yeah.
It took 25 minutes per tooth, and we did 10. That's 250 minutes of just milling. You put the prep time, plus the milling, plus then seating everything.
Let's not
And you
forget about the
said, what was
design.
I thinking?
I was thinking, I got to make my money, right? So we finished the case, and everybody was really happy. No, I was like, wow. Cool. So I left. I got my check. I don't mind saying it was $3,000. I was like, wow. God,
Yeah.
So we left. I was really happy, but something started that day. So a week later, this guy, Jimmy, calls me and goes, hey, my aunt is really happy. My niece wants to get it done. I'm like, cool, that costs more money.
Yeah.
So I go there, and we do the same case. Now we use, at this point, we use Impress materials.
That was softer and a mill probably faster.
Yes, we used Impress.
Yeah.
And I believe we already had the Impress Multi at those days. So we did a case that was a lot quicker. We did a 10-unit case. And look where we are now, right? Because I'm thinking, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm thinking, whoa, I'm old. So this is when Facebook.
That's what we do here.
This when Facebook just got really started.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
became really big in Facebook. The second case I posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
And since I was already involved with CEREC doctors and going to Scottsdale to teach staining glaze,
Yes.
the old days, I would go there like every 2 weeks. I would go just to teach for free. Ivor Clark was helping me with just the airfare. I was not getting paid. So when I started posting my second case, all these doctors started calling. It's like, you doing same-day smiles? I said, yeah.
Can you do one for
Same-day
me?
smile, yeah. And what I would do, because the first two cases I did, you had to try them in the mouth. Imagine the pain that the patient had to go through. So little by little, I started finding out different ways of actually acquiring an impression so I can work out of the patient's mouth, right?
Interesting, yeah.
So make a long story short, the doctor started finding out about me. And the first year, 2010, I probably did 12 cases. 2010, 2011, I do like 54 cases.
Wow.
And so on, and until it just consumed me, and I couldn't do lab work anymore. So I started traveling around the world doing same-day smiles. The world. Yeah, so
The
I would
world.
travel. So not only that, I would lecture for Serona and Patterson, and then Ivor Clark, because I also beta tested Emacs when before they came out. So I started using Emacs on all my smiles. So I would lecture and do same-day smiles. So I would travel around the country and then the world. Because of Facebook, people found me first in Spain, and I travel throughout Spain.
In Spain?
Just to do same-day smiles and
Wow.
teach the concept of smile design with CEREC, right? In CEREC and Lab. Then Asia came in. I started flying to Asia.
Wow.
Then South America. And I was like just traveling a lot. I tell you, I'm still doing same-day smiles, and it's really my niche because even though technicians can do that, and I welcome technicians to do it, it's a really beautiful day because you get to see the transformation right in front of you. As
Yeah.
technicians, you know, you send the work out, and you never see the final product. But
Well, you get to see the emotion.
You did get the phone call
yeah.
when they tell you, "Hey, the contact is open. This,
Yeah.
you suck," or you're
You
horrible,
hear all the bad,
you know.
all the bad.
Yeah.
But when it's a good thing, they take all the glory.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
But I mean, it's not because of bad people. The dentists, they're just you're
They're
not
there.
there.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
present, right? So this, when you're involved, you're there, and they know that you are the artist that made it.
Yeah.
That's where I started calling myself a smile designer because I was a true smile designer. I wax my case so I can do a bio copy, and I would do it, right?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
trademark that name, by the way?
Which one?
Smile Designer.
No, I can't do that one because that's, but I did trademark my company, which is Cat Smiles.
Good.
CAD smile.
Like Cat
Yeah.
Smiles, that's
Yep.
trademark. Nobody can use that.
Got it.
So that's my niche of the business has been for the last 15 years, now 2023, to do same-day smiles. So
Yeah.
I've gone many, many places. I worked in India.
Well, let me ask you.
So-
Let me ask
yeah,
you something.
Yeah.
So, a patient comes in the morning.
Yeah.
And they prep. They scan with their Sirona.
Yeah.
You use their mill in the office.
Yes.
Which is awesome because now you don't have to worry about a mill. Do you
Yeah.
bring the material?
No, they provide the material as well because they're CEREC owners. So they already have, they have to have the blocks as they choose the shade. They also have an oven, and they have a milling unit.
So I imagine you've done a lot of these with the OmniCam.
So you just bring your hands.
I've done, the first ones were done with, my first one was done with a red cam.
Yeah.
Then I moved, the
Blue,
first
yeah.
one, then the blue cam, then OmniCam,
OmniCam.
and now obviously
the Prime.
The Prime.
Are you designing on their unit?
Yes. Yes.
I always thought that had limitations for anterior teeth.
For dentists, not for us savvy surviving.
So you're
technicians.
designing it with that stupid ball on the Omni?
Oh,
that
man,
was
I'm so good. You know why? Because, again, I'm really old. You know the video game?
Centipede.
Centipede. I used to play Centipede with a ball.
I did too. That's
so
crazy.
I was so good. So I used two hands. Like now they use one hand to click right, left,
Yeah,
and use the
yeah.
ball with one hand. I'm like this. So I'm really professional, both hands just going. So when they watch me, most assistants watch me start and they go, you know what, I want to watch you design. I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
And by the time they come back 5 minutes later, I'm already done designing.
Yeah.
Because I go, and it's done.
Wow.
Like, wow, you already designed. Oh, my God, that's amazing. I wanted to watch. I'm like, well, you better stamp it.
Then don't leave.
Yeah, because then they say, I want to watch your stain and glaze as well. Okay, I'll be right back. And by the time they come back, I already, put all my colors on it, and then they're
How long is this patient there for? Is it like an 8
7
hour?
hours?
Great question. There's
Yeah.
different ways to do it. I mean, for me, this service is almost as top-notch service that needs to be considered almost like going to the Apple store, where it's just you get treated really well. Or if you go to a great clothing store.
Yeah, yeah.
So the service is the patient comes in. We prep between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning, let's just say.
Yeah.
Let's do a 10-unit case. They prep the case. We use my wax up to scan for biocopy just as a guide. The patient gets done at 10, and they don't get their teeth done or tried on until about 1 p.m.
Yeah.
I would say 1:30.
So I was going to ask you. So you have a impression and or a scan of the original, so you can make a diagnostic, so you know where you're going.
Yes, I always
'Cause
want to do with a wax
that's
up.
a
I always
must.
want to work
That's
with a
why
wax
where
up.
I was.
Yeah,
not
I always want to
connecting
work
the
with a
dots.
wax up. So
You
that
have
way,
to
once
have
they
one.
sell the case, they send me an impression, either digital or
Okay.
whatever, so I can do my wax up, my mock
Yeah.
up, and something that
Yeah.
the patient can see.
Yes. Okay.
And and we approve it. I also work for photography, so I do Photoshop so the patient can see the before and after
Oh,
before
wow,
we even
yeah.
do anything.
Okay. That makes more sense
Yeah,
to me now. Thank you.
it didn't start
So it's
that
a
way.
one day, but it's a pre.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
didn't start that way.
Yeah.
The first cases were cowboys. I mean, we'd just go and sit down, we'll inject and pound, we'll just do the case. But I started refining my service to the point that now I'm a true smile designer that actually gets treatment plan acceptance by
you
using
have to.
photography
Yeah,
and using
okay.
software so patients can see before they make the investment. Not only because I had to get better, patients have gotten more educated because of social media.
Yeah.
They know what crappy work looks like. They know what good work looks like. So now we got dentistry at another level. So so the patient gets done at 10 o'clock in the morning. There's an option here where the patient could just sit in the chair until 1 p.m., which is the one that I don't like. But some dentists choose to do that.
Yeah.
And the patient can sit there and do some work in their computer and wait until we try in the restorations. The back side of that, the side that I don't like, is that the dentin or the enamel is exposed, is raw, and they start getting sensitivity. And they start, can you numb me up again? And it puts a little bit of pressure on me because I hear this.
Yeah, you want to get
and I want to get it done, and there's enough pressure having to the software not crash, or that everything fits right. So my approach is that we do temporaries.
Just put a shell on them.
The wax up I already have. I have a stent. So just use the same thing. Just put it in the mouth, and you make it removable. Right? So it's a timing thing with your temporary material. Maybe make it removable. So you just place it. And now, this is a cool part about the service. If you're a cool dentist, you have already a menu that you have laminated with smoothies. What smoothie would you like while you wait?
Oh.
You have an iPad, huge iPad, with movies with Netflix. What movie would you like to watch? And
would you like a blanket? Would you?
Right. And we have a room with a vibrating couch that you can sit there and watch a movie and just enjoy. Or you can say, you know what, Mrs. Because most of the time it's ladies that get their teeth done, right? Go get the nails done. So you have a nail salon where you just send them to the nail salon. And just get the nails done for about an hour. Send them to shop or send them home or send them somewhere. The thing is, two things. First is that I don't want them to sit there with the preps exposed waiting, right? That's one of the things we already said.
Pretty miserable experience.
And the second thing is the dentist is really smart. That chair can be available for another case. Put another patient there or sell another case.
Asses and seats.
Maximize.
And then you have another chair. Because otherwise that chair is taken for the entire day. So anyhow, the patient comes in at 1:30, let's say. We try the restorations and we do the whole wow. They love it. They try everything on. And I got to tell you, one of the good things about working chairside has been that rarely there's an adjustment. Because I get a model. I get it now as we progress, from 2008 that I mentioned to now, we actually do take an impression, a polyvinyl impression, a fine impression. I would say, like if it was going to the best laboratory. Because when I ask for an impression, goes, an alginate, okay? No alginate. This is a top-notch service we provide, and you give me a nice impression. So then I can pour it up with Snapstone. Snapstone sets in about 5 minutes. So I pour it up. So as I start milling, I put it on the model. Boom, 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 and I do my contacts, and I just put them on. Then I glue the restorations with light body material. I glue them to the model. Because, they're veneers, so you don't want them to fall.
They'll fall off.
And I just contour them, just make them look beautiful. Take my photos, put them on social media, as I go, and I just finish them, and then we try them on. So when they try them on, they're perfect.
You printing models yet?
You know what? The technology is there. The post-printing process is the one that catches you, because printing can be in half an hour, but then you need another 30 minutes to clean the model, and I can have an impression in a model in stone.
5 minutes.
So eventually we'll get there, and not every dentist is with the printer, has the printer.
And you never take these off of their OmniCam or PrimeScan and put it on like a laptop and use InLab? Do you ever do that?
You can. The only problem with that is that you need to get that laptop to communicate with a milling unit. Not always does that happen.
That's
right?
tough,
The only way that could happen nowadays, which is great where we are with technology, and I feel like really responsible for where we are. I mean, there may be a million of these, but it's just a little grain that I put into the technology to get forward. Because now with exocad or with InLab, and STL files, doctors now that own the prime scan, the prime mill, and the prime print
Yeah.
get in lab cam, so now they can mill STLs.
Yeah.
So now we could do that where I can grab that file, send it to my laptop, design with ExoCAD, export it, and then now we have even better looking teeth, because ExoCAD is an amazing software. It's what I use in the laboratory now.
Sure.
And it could be done nowadays, and it's really cool. So that's the part of the story that is really, really exciting, because I got to see the world. Now I got older, so I don't want to travel that much. I got family. So I revamped my laboratory. So now my laboratory has become a Smile Design Center. It's a boutique dental lab, and it's called a Smile Design Center. So instead of me flying, now patients come to me.
You.
The patients come to you?
Yeah,
Oh,
doctors
that's
send the patients
fantastic.
to me. Look, from California. They don't fly in yet, because I started about a year ago with this concept. So I have all my software open. I have my photo studio. So the patient comes in, I do my own photography, the photo that I want, which is full face with a big smile. I sit them next to me with Photoshop. I like Photoshop because I'm just good with it.
Yeah.
And I use their dentition with Photoshop. I don't use a template from different companies. And I make the transformation right in front of them. We lengthen this, we lengthen that. We can rotate this tooth and like, oh, wow, 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 wow. At the same time, I have another screen with their file already.
Yeah.
The doctor
So you can
sent me,
try their teeth
so they
in.
can move and I can design right here, and they can see everything on my left, and in front of them is my computer with the smile.
So they come to you prepped?
No, they come to me to accept the treatment.
Oh, you have to sell these things.
Yeah, I love doing it.
Really?
I'm a pretty good.
I think so.
I bet your dentists love you.
I'm a pretty good treatment plan acceptance guy. I'm not a salesman. I hate saying I sold a case.
Yeah.
They accepted the treatment plan.
That's
right?
what dentists hate doing the most. They must love to
Right.
send them
Yeah,
to
they're
you.
horrible. I mean, with all due respect, they have so much stuff to do in their office that selling that stuff is hard. Plus, you have patients coming in, kids running around. You have all this noise.
Yeah.
In my office is a spa. It's like the lighting, the music we have is kind of loungy. We have coffee, we have water, little wine if they want some. Anything they want is there. So they can chill out, and then I just do all my photography and I do all my presentation. And by the end of the day, it's about an hour. By the end of that hour, they're like, wow. Yes, I want it.
I'm in.
A lot of people come with an idea of doing 4 veneers, and they leave accepting 10.
10, yeah.
Because I show them the buccal
Fill
corridor.
out the buccal corridor.
And I say, you can do it now, you can do it later.
Yep.
Whatever, but this
But you're only going to see these 4 unless you do.
Right.
They want to do it all.
Yeah, then they want it brighter. So with software, I can make them brighter.
Yeah.
And say, oh, my God, I want that. So now.
You ever have to talk people out of brightness? Be like,
yes.
tone that
BL1.
down. I've used this line before with patients where I told them after they really believe in me, and I know that I got them hooked into my presentation, I tell them, if you go too bright, I'm not doing this case for you.
Yeah.
So you can take these pictures, give it to somebody else, but I'm not doing your work. And they're like, whoa, what? So I said, I'll do a bleach 3 because of your skin color, because of this, because of that. I'm doing bleach 3, but I'm not doing bleach 1. Go to Home Depot, get a tile, and we just put it in your face, and we're good to go. Right?
I always say you're going to see your teeth before you see you when you walk in a room. I hate that.
I mean, that's one of the things, because a lot of people come to me and they say, I want them natural. One thing I want them is natural, and I get this so much that I keep listening to them and say, okay, and what do you mean by natural? Well, I don't want what my neighbor did. There's like, and I said, picket fence? Yeah, picket fence. Well, I said, chiclets? Yeah.
Chiclets,
so I want them nice and natural. And let's say an example. It's like a 75-year-old lady, right?
Yeah.
And she probably had, some surgery done already, and but it looks nice and attractive, but she wants to be natural and not noticed.
Yeah.
So she goes, I want them natural, but white.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, white is not natural.
Yeah,
I mean, not So
not
I
as
have,
white as that is.
So I have to use a lot of psychology to talk them
I bet
into
you
doing
do.
the work, so it looks really nice and natural in my way.
Yeah.
Texture, morphology, color, translucency, all that stuff. And what that has done for me is it put me at another level now of dentistry. which is really, really cool. With all the experience that I got from traveling around the world, seeing great dentists and the crappiest dentists.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you've seen
see a lot. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen so much stuff that I'm like, how did you graduate?
Yes.
I mean, what are you doing practicing dentistry? I mean, really. And then you see some guys that are, wow,
Yeah.
that you wish you could do that every day. But, you know, in every market, you have the good
You have
and
the
the
good
bad.
and the bad.
And
Yep.
the one in the middle, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And they're really, really bad. You want to help them, but they're just bad. And
They don't wanna
just
help
don't,
themselves.
the ones in the middle are the more exciting to work with because they're really,
wanna learn.
they listen to you.
Yep.
And then by the time you're done, they're like, wow, that was the best day of my life. I want
Yeah.
to do this all the time. I love my
Yeah.
job. I love dentistry again
yep.
and everything. And then they have the top ones that are a little tougher to work with
Yeah.
because
They
their
think they know
expectations are
everything.
high.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that make me better,
Yep.
right? Those are the ones that actually
Yep.
have to they know how to treat the patient. They know how to sell the case. They know
Yep.
how to do
Yep.
the whole thing. The staff is very professional. So it's really cool. To bring all this to my studio now, to my boutique dental
That's
lab,
sweet.
is really awesome because I can do it same day. Because the last part of the conversation, I ask the patient, do you want to do the same day or should we put temporaries on? Most of them say same day. And sometimes I say, you know what? You need temporaries.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the psychological part. I look
You
at
gotta
the lady
wear
and
it.
because
Yeah.
she starts with natural, and then by the time I'm done with the photo, it's like a picket fence. So I'm still going to do it.
Trial
so,
run.
So then I say,
Yep.
you know what? You need temporaries. Because
Yeah.
I know that if I do it in one day, I'm going
You're
to
gonna
spend the
change it.
entire day.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that I don't like to do in my same-day service is fiddle with my work after I'm done. I have that
change this
conversation ahead of time.
corner, want
No,
this, want
no.
this,
As soon as they
change
want to
this
change two things, I say
embrasure.
temporize.
Yeah.
We temporize.
I
I'll
think
come back
that's
tomorrow
great.
with the case.
So smart.
That's never happened. Can you believe it? It's never happened where I had to temporize and leave.
Really?
And I've done probably over 2,000 cases around the world, and I never had to redo something like that. I might have had to
Interesting.
redo one
That
to
says
the
a
broke
lot.
like a year later.
Yeah.
But my cases have always seated with no major adjustments, other maybe adding a contact or maybe adding a little more color,
Sure.
opening an embrasure. But
Yep.
it's never been like a midline off
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
canted or nothing. It's always
you're there.
and it's always planning. You know, a good plan gives you a great execution. And if you plan it properly from the beginning, you can end up with a good product.
Absolutely.
awesome, man.
And it's really cool. So that's a little bit of the story. So it's really cool how the whole journey with CAD/CAM from it was my worst enemy to now is my lifestyle.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
are you doing zirconia as well as Emax felspathic
On
or
same day
just
basis,
Emax?
no. On
just
same day,
Emax.
yeah, just Emax is the
Mostly
it's
veneers?
a go-to.
Yeah.
Veneers and crowns, yeah. I do incorporate implants.
I was
And
going to ask
there's-
that.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
we do incorporate like either screw retain crowns, or we do an abutment and a crown on the same visit if we do it with CEREC.
Yeah, with their tie bases.
If we
yeah.
want a better abutment, when they send me the impression for me to do the diagnostic wax up, I ask them to give me all the parts for me to do a
Yeah.
custom abutment. So the day of, I show up with a custom abutment already done.
Wow.
Got it. That's
So
cool.
then we put that in, we treat it
makes
like
a lot
just
of
another
sense.
tooth.
Yep.
And then we just go around. We do the bridges and stuff. And the only reason we don't do zirconia right now is because it takes too long to
Yeah.
sinter.
Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't believe right now on the zirconia being nice and translucent.
Not in
when you
3
do the
hours.
half hour.
No way.
Yeah, it's like a half hour, and it doesn't look as good as my stuff. Like I use the zirconia now and it's okay for me to
Yeah.
use the
Yeah,
Sure.
by all
names that I
means.
use.
Yeah.
I use Ivoclar's Prime
Yeah.
Aesthetic. Oh my
That's-
gosh,
that's good.
What
Same.
a beautiful material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful material. Until then, I was using Noritake, which is another beautiful
stuff,
material. We never cut corners in the lab. For me, it's always been high-quality materials, high-quality
Yeah, for
equipment.
sure.
And it's always been I'm a big Ivoclar guy. I know Vita has
Same
great
here.
materials as well. But for me, Ivoclar, and I've been, like I said, I beta tested Emax before it came out. I tried all this stuff, Concept, Targus, Vectress.
Oh, I used that
Empress,
too. Oh, my God.
Empress 2, remember
Yeah. I
Empress
forgot
2,
about
which
Targus.
is now Emax,
Yep.
lithium disilicate.
Yep.
So for me, now that they got this zirconia, it really raised the bar on my zirconia work in the
gorgeous.
laboratory. 'cause
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
done
so
some
you don't do
cases.
everything same day.
No,
so you
no,
do
no.
have
That's,
choices.
that was the reason
Yeah.
why about a year and a half ago I decided to open my laboratory because again, let's face it, I'm getting older, even though I look super young today.
Yeah, you keep saying that. I would disagree.
But I don't want to travel that much because traveling, got a
hard.
little
Yeah.
old, and I got a family, and
Yep.
and plus, CASMAS really is a service. And when I decide that I don't want to do it anymore, I don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
the end. But having an entity like a laboratory, a smile design center, I can bring my family to take over when I retire, and we have something that's
love
got already
that.
started.
That's awesome.
So I still do the same day smile. I just choose my battles now.
Yeah.
I just, if you have a full mouth case in New York, which is like $15,000, I'm going to fly over there. I'm going to get it done.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you have a 6-unit case in Canada, I am not going. I'm not leaving the lab for a minimum of something.
And I'm
Before I
sure-
used to do
yeah.
everything. Before I would get, a 6-unit case in Dallas, and I would call my doctor in Florida to see if he had another case, and then call another. So then I would leave for a whole week and do a case
And
here,
you'll
case
do
there,
like
case there,
traveling.
and
Yeah.
then come back home with a whole bunch of money because there's no overhead.
That's
There's no
great.
overhead. It's just me providing.
Yeah,
a
you're
service.
using their mills, their
They
product.
I
I
just show
love
up with a
it.
little briefcase with my light,
your
my
hands.
loops, and my hands.
And your
That's it.
brain.
Yeah.
That's
That's why I
awesome.
stopped anything that like mountain biking is
So
not for
smart.
me. No
Yeah.
way. I can't break my hands.
No.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So that's the golden thing. So now we have the lab, which is a boutique dental lab that just does all that stuff, and it's pretty cool. So
That's
That's
great.
a
really awesome
fascinating
thing.
story. Thank you
It
so
is-
much
it
for
is very
sitting
fun.
down with
Thank
us.
you. Yeah,
Eddie, that's
Awesome.
awesome, man.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
man.
I
It
had
was
no
really
idea
good.
Yeah.
people were doing this.
Yeah, there is, and it's still gonna go on and even better because materials are better,
The prime's
technology's better.
amazing.
Yeah,
the
pri-
scanner.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really awesome. I just can't believe there's not more chairside systems. We know the E4D, for a while, it's
Yeah.
still there, but
Yeah.
it's not at the level that nothing has come out yet. I mean,
Yeah.
there's hybrids. They can use a scanner and then put it on another machine, but at the speed the CEREC works, nobody's matched it.
It's
Nobody's
kinda
matched
crazy
it.
how there's
Right,
not
and I'm
40
not-
of them
And
out.
I'm not sponsored by them at all. It's just a reality of things. They have it down. They have a system that you buy the whole workflow, and it's done. I mean,
Yeah.
to be able to do a crown in one visit already is cool, but to do a smile in one visit, a full mouth case in
yeah.
a day and a half.
Yep.
Well, what I love is these doctors are not trying to do a full mouth in a day without a technician.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I'm sure there's some out there
Yes.
that are trying.
There's no
Yeah,
way.
there's
I can't
some that
even
try
buy
it.
that.
And one last story. One of the last stories is that full mouth cases. I will never do them in one day. That is a bad experience for the patient, for the doctor, for the assistant, for the hygienist, for me,
too much.
for everybody, because
Yeah.
it's way too many teeth. No matter how many
Yes.
million units you have, there's only one doctor, one technician.
Yeah.
That's
So I learned
exhausting.
that I've done 2 out of maybe 100 full mouth cases or 300 full mouth cases that I've done in the last 15 years. My first 2 were same day, and it was a horrible experience.
Yeah.
We never did it again. So
Yeah.
now I know that I'm going to do a full upper arch on one day, and the next morning we do the second
Yeah.
arch. We might do the molars on the lower arch the first day,
Just for
to
their-
like work really hard
Yeah.
from
Get
8
the
to 5,
bite in.
and
Yep.
then the next day is half a day,
Yep.
Yeah.
and the patient is super
That makes
happy.
a lot of sense.
And you have a lot of control on the bite.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
function, I mean, we can do beautiful work, but function of our work has to be number one.
Oh, absolutely.
Because then you marry
Fit,
to the
form, and
patient
function.
things. Yeah, because
Yep.
then it just chips and
Yeah.
you're screwed. So for me, number one is always function. Can we
Yeah.
do this case?
Yeah.
So-
And then whiten the hell out of it.
And why the hell out of it, man?
No. PL3.
But it
That's
happens.
his
It
weight.
happens. I'll tell you another funny story. I had a case that I did in Lake Elsinore about 8 years ago, and it was a lady that worked for Google. And she had surgery all over her body, all over her body. You could tell that she was not her-
Cosmetic
Yeah,
surgery.
cosmetic
Yeah,
surgery.
yeah.
Like, ah.
Yeah.
So she wants bleach 1, right? So
God.
I look at her and I said, well, we can do bleach 1. But this is what I would like to incorporate to your bleach 1 because it's really bright. I would like to put a little bit of anatomy, more morphology, some surface texture,
Yeah.
and maybe break the white a little bit with some translucency here and there,
Yeah.
so we can make them look a little natural. She looked at me from head to toe, and she says to me, "Honey, do you see anything natural in my body?"
So did you tell her to go or did you do
No,
them?
I did it. But check this out. The worst part of it is that I went ahead and I did it my way.
Yeah.
Next week, the following week, I had to redo the 6
Yeah.
because she wanted them flat with no texture.
Yeah.
She actually wanted chiclets. So I went and I got paid again. And I had to redo it. And that was my remake. It wasn't because I did something. She just did not like natural teeth. She really wanted that.
That's
crazy.
So yeah, this, I mean, in fact,
Honey, do you see anything natural on me?
do you see anything natural in my body? I'm like, yeah, you're right.
And you're like, fuck no, I don't.
You're right. I mean, jeez. Here I am trying to be a cool guy.
Yeah.
You know, so now I use that story a lot with ladies when they come to me and they say the same thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes people look at me and say, hey, bald guy, you don't know natural. This is natural. White is natural.
You don't want to look like you have a filter on you out in the world.
Right.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Well, it's okay to have pores, and it's okay to have
Well,
lines.
I invite all my patients after I'm done with the treatment. I invite them to my photo studio to do post-op photos
Yeah.
because that's the other problem doctors have. They release the patient to the world and they never have before and afters. Which how can you sell more treatment if you don't show your work?
Agreed.
Yep.
That is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Photos of their families, photos of animals. No, if you're going to be a smile design office, you want to sell smiles, you got to put your work out there.
You gotta
right?
let people know.
So I invite them. Now, those ones that are bleach one, they don't get invited. No, I don't photograph those. Yeah, because that's a turnoff. People are not going to come and see
You
that.
turn off the lights, turn on the black light.
There you go. Yeah. Or I have to put that photo in Photoshop and just manipulate it so it looks a little more natural, which is cheating. So I don't invite them. I just got the ones that are really good at
Yeah,
natural.
sure. Yeah.
So that's what we do. That's what I do, and that's where we are today.
That's awesome.
The name of the lab is Cat Smiles Smile Design Center.
Yep.
And it's under the umbrella of my first laboratory that I started when I was 22, 23 years old.
Wow.
Downtown Dental Designs in San Diego, and I've been there since 1998 in San Diego, California.
Great
That's awesome.
story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Eddie.
Thank you guys
Awesome.
for calling me, and thanks to Jeremy that
Yeah.
dropped me
No
here,
kidding.
and I get to tell my story, and I get really
Emotional.
really excited when I tell the
I can
story
tell.
because it's really fun and it's
It's
I
exciting.
would write a book. If you knew all the stuff that I've been through, like being chased by a hurricane, being stopped twice in the middle of the night by cops because I was too fast from one state to another trying to get to my place.
I gotta put some teeth in.
Flights that were delayed or
Yeah.
canceled. Oh my God! I went through a lot of stuff. My suitcases not getting to the destination in Europe, and I have all my equipment there. Or the first time that I brought all my equipment to Europe and nothing worked because it was different electricity.
Oh, yeah. Things you learn.
I can't plug
Oh,
anything
man.
in. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Somebody told me you got to write a book before you go. You got to
You
write
should.
a story because it's really fun.
Well, when you write that book, let us know.
Yeah,
Come back on. We'll
come
talk
back
about
on.
it.
It's really fun. Cool,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Eddie.
you. You're
Appreciate
You're welcome,
it.
guys. Cheers.
A huge thanks to Chad and Eddie for sitting down with us again at Lab Day West, and also a big thank you to Rozzy and Jeremy for bringing them both to our Ivoclar table. I tell you, it's all about friends introducing friends that even made these conversations possible. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have been able to talk to them. Of course, they might have found their way, but you never know.
Yeah, probably not.
I know you know, I'm going to say it again, I love a good family lab story, and Chad seems like he is on his way to make their lab even better, and we wish him the best of luck. And when so many labs saw an obstacle, Eddie saw opportunity, which I love, and turned it into quite the lab story. To think about doing what he does without having to invest into equipment or material? Seems like a dream to me, Elvis. I'm just saying.
I love it.
But I do love that his first priority is the patient and their experience because I feel the same way. And I know you do, my friend.
Some
Thanks,
days.
guys. Some days.
All right, everybody. That's all we got for you. And we will talk to you next week. Bye. The f*** you say while I was getting the dog?
I actually said nothing.
Oh.